Inverse functions. Find f of g of x and g of f of x and determine whether the pair of functions f and g are inverses of each other. First, we're going to find f of g of x. That means that we'll take the function f and plug in the expression for g of x wherever we see an x. So f is 2x plus 6, and this is going to become 2 times g of x plus 6. And we'll substitute the expression for g of x, which is x minus 6 divided by 2, and then that's plus 6. Now I have a 2 in my numerator and a 2 in the denominator, so I can cancel those out, and I'm left with x minus 6 plus 6, which equals x. Now I'm going to find g of f of x. So this means I'll substitute in f of x wherever I see an x in the expression of g. And then I'll substitute f of x with 2x plus 6, and then that's minus 6 all divided by 2. First, you want to simplify the numerator, so these 6's will cancel, and I'm left with 2x divided by 2. And lastly, the 2's will cancel, so that equals x. Now I'm asked to determine whether the functions are inverses of each other. Since f of g of x and g of f of x both equal x, then yes, they are inverses. The function f of x equals 5x plus 1 divided by x minus 7, where x cannot equal 7, is 1 to 1. Find an equation for f inverse of x. The first step is to substitute f of x with y. So we're going to rewrite this as y equals 5x plus 1 divided by x minus 7. The second step is to interchange the x and the y. So I'll have x equals 5y plus 1 divided by y minus 7. The third step is to solve for y. To do that, we're going to multiply both sides by y minus 7, which is the denominator. So I get x times y minus 7 equals 5y plus 1. That's because the denominators on the right cancel. Now I'm going to distribute the x to each term in parentheses. I get xy minus 7x equals 5y plus 1. Now I want to get all the y's on one side and all the other variables on the other side. So I'm going to subtract 5y on both sides. And I get xy minus 5y minus 7x equals 1. Next, I'm going to add 7x to both sides. And I have xy minus 5y equals 7x plus 1. Next, I'm going to factor out a y on the left side. So I have y times x minus 5 equals the 7x plus 1. And this allows me to isolate the y by dividing both sides by x minus 5. So I have y equals 7x plus 1 divided by x minus 5. Now that we completed our third step, we can complete our fourth step by replacing the y that we found in step 3 with f inverse of x. So f inverse equals 7x plus 1 over x minus 5. That's our inverse function. Now we also want to state any restrictions. And this is a rational expression, so I want to set my denominator equal to 0 and solve for x. This will give me the values of x that x cannot equal. So x cannot equal a positive 5. When it does equal 5, my expression becomes undefined. So my answer is f inverse of x equals 7x plus 1 divided by x minus 5, where x cannot equal 5.